Hey guys, King of Charmans here. Today I'll be your judge, your jury, and your analyst. And today I give you the top 5 teams for the Great League Remix. I know this video is a little late, but PvPoke updated it like 2 days ago, and I was just kind of confused because if you look at the teams, I'm like, wow. Anyways, like, it's just like, wow. Like, it's like, Pelipper safe switch is pretty baller, get it? But it's like the top 5 threes are like just really interesting just because of like, if you look, you're gonna see exactly why like I'm like kind of just like, how the hell? Like, I get how it works just because there's a lot of things in Great League Remix that are like super meta that are banned so these combinations can thrive, but at the same time you're just like, wow. And you like, you know, like it's gonna be funny because like when you have like Magcargo banned for like the next Great League Remix, you're gonna be like, what? Or like one of the like picks over here. But anyways, this is the top 5 teams for the Great League Remix that's updated by PvPoke.com. As I always say, please consider contributing to PvPoke.com. And for your mental health tip for the day, make sure you guys are looking out for your friends. I know I say this one like religiously, but like it is the holidays. And during these times, this is when everyone usually has something happen with them. So make sure you check up on your friends and family. I will say this tip at least once a week just to make sure you are doing it. But yes, make sure you check up on your friends and family, see if everything's going well for them because the holidays are very hard. And as a clinician, as a marriage family therapist trainee, soon to be licensed, well, in the future I will be licensed, but make sure, yeah, do me a favor, check up on the people you care about. Anyways, without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so for the first team, we have Pidgeot, Machamp, and Magcargo. I'm not sure if this team actually has a safe switch, I'm pretty sure you just sack Pidgeot in the lead, or Magcargo is going to be your safe switch. Magcargo got buffed because it got Incinerate and Rock Tomb, and it gets a guaranteed debuff if you hit Rock Tomb. So it's kind of annoying, but it's really good, and Magcargo for the Johto Cup is going to be pretty baller. But as you see, at a 579 rating with 0.8, that means a lot of people are using this one. It's a very interesting team. And it has a great coverage, but, well, it's Shadow Champ to close out, but as you see, it doesn't have a lot of bulk or safety. Like I mentioned, this team is just like pure freaking damage. You are literally going to just run through your opponent with either Burbs, you're going to debuff them with Feather Dance, or you're going to have Magcargo and Machamp go to town. B for coverage, overall against the overall meta, if you look, that's a lot of red X's, but it does really bank. Pidgeot is a strong lead for the Great League Remix, and as you see, it does a fantastic job against multiple different combinations. Outside of getting hit by, I would say, like anything that resists flying types with Pidgeot lead is still very solid, and even if you do have to get up, Brave Bird still hits really hard, or you can Feather Dance down. As you see here, this team still has a decent rating with pretty much just the only thing that's really giving Pidgeot a hard time, just basically what you lose in the lead. Because Machamp does so much damage, with shields, Machamp with shields can like wreck your opponent's soul. And it has coverage against flyers, etc. So, and you have Magcargo in the back to just go to town. Overheat will do big damage. And of course, with the Incinerate buff, getting those extra Incinerates through fast moves is really great. So if you lose the lead with Pidgeot, which basically is like Rock Throws or anything that resists Pidgeot, switch into Magcargo, try to bust some shields, but at the same time, also be very careful because Magcargo is also susceptible to water switches like Pelipper, etc. If you have to switch out of Pidgeot and they switch into a Pelipper, you're in a lot of deep trouble unless you're able to Rock Tomb or Stone Edge through shields, which isn't very likely because Pelipper will win CMP and it has it's just fast. So Weather Ball will do heavy damage against you, especially since you are double weak to Pelipper's Weather Balls. So just be careful of that water. You can use Machamp Shadow as a safe switch, but that's not even safe as well because I've seen Hypnos in the back as well as other flyers. So this team is basically just pure mundane damage. A lot of people are using it, so it's pretty solid, but again, it's just sheer damage. You will run through your sets pretty quickly if you use this team. Alright, the next team is very, very unique. You got Magcargo, Jumpluff, and Pelipper Safe Switch. In fact, the top 4 all have Pelipper Safe Switch. But this is a very unique team at 0.6% with a 579 rating. which isn't that much above the other one. But the interesting thing is, if you look at its grades, it is very interesting. You have an absolute super F for coverage. And even though, like, I don't mind Magcargo lead because you can catch Trevenant, you can catch Registeels, you can catch, like, Melmetals, but at the same time, Diggersby's a thing. And yeah, it's a very interesting it's a very interesting combination. I'd say it doesn't work because grass type leads in the back, like with Jumpluff, for example. I'm using Meganium for my budget team. Grass types in the back work really well. And Magcargo does do some work against a lot of the lead metas. But like I mentioned, with Diggersby like is a very powerful mon against Magcargo, but you have double coverage against it with Jumpluff and Pelipper. As you see, Magcargo in the lead is able to take on a lot of the ice type meta as well as the flying type meta. So it's a very, very, very solid mon, especially with its new buff. But the thing about it is the reason why you have F for coverage is because look how many things kill you. No, literally, you have a full list of things that can blast your entire team. And the thing is, Magcargo, Jumpluff, even though Jumpluff is like the most bulky thing on your team, Pelipper and Magcargo are pretty squishy. And if you do lose the lead, or if you encounter any of the combinations you see above, like Dragalge is something I've seen in the lead a lot, you're going to have a really rough time because Dragalge will essentially not wall you per se, but for Jumpluff and Magcargo, it resists both of your fast moves. And for Pelipper, you have to like Hail Mary Hurricane in order to take out Dragalge. And as you see, there's a lot of combinations. I've seen Dugong in this cup, so Dugong in this cup can give you a hard time as well, just because it is instead of it only does neutral damage, yes, you can Rock Tomb, but Dugong with a Icy Wind and Water Pulse is very annoying, especially if it's able to take your shields, or Water Pulse goes through shields and you guess wrong, it's going to do heavy damage against you. Very, very powerful team, but like I mentioned, it's basically banking that Pelipper can win switch and then Magcargo and Jumpluff can realign. But if you have any of the combinations you see over here on this list, then you're in a lot of trouble. So I have no doubt this team could perform well, but I would really have to see like how the person that created it, because anything with a red, as you see here, is very likely a small sample size as a result of an individual player. So it's very interesting. I mean, at the same time, I get it, but like at the same time, like this team is like really rough. I see no reason why you shouldn't run the top 3 versus number 4. All right, now we have team number 3. This one features Excadrill lead. I have seen Excadrill. Actually, I've seen this team played a lot or against me. So I've seen Excadrill, Double Flyer. It's a very solid team. Excadrill is one of the as a steel type, but it is with Mudshot, Rock Slide, and Drill Run, you have great coverage against a lot of things. 1% are using it and has a pretty high rating of 586. Double Flyer also works really well in this cup just because of, there's something called Probopass, but Probopass does fall to Pelipper with Water Gun. I mean, not with Water Gun, with like Wing Attack. Wing Attack, Weather Ball with that energy combination. It's still rough if you see a Probopass, but at the same time, I don't see a lot of Probopasses in like the back, and if it's in the lead, that's what Excadrill is for. As you see here, this team is very, very powerful as far as like the amount of sheer pressure it does, and it's pretty as you see, A for consistent. The damage is going to be there. You don't have a lot of coverage in bulk though. More on that in a bit, but it is pretty safe basically with anything with a Pelipper safe switch team. You switch in a Pelipper, you win switch, and then you realign. That's basically what it is. And then as you see here, you have a lot of things that want to kill you. The steel type, if you don't find the steel type in the lead, if they're in the back, it's going to give you a little bit of a hard time. I've seen Dugongs in the back. Empoleon isn't around a lot, but you can see it out here. And the rest of these combinations, the reason why this team does so well is because if you look at this list, there's not a lot of these you will see. So, again, you won't, like, the 90% of the time, you probably won't see a Regice, you won't see a Linoon, a Piloswine, a Castform, Glalie, etc. So, you won't see a lot of what you see here. You might see a Wishcash lead, though, so it's very rough. But again, if you see Wishcash, say switch in a Pelipper, and then try to win switch and realign. That's the basic confines of this team. Excadrill, of course, is weak to things like Trevenant, because it does resist your mud shots. It's also weak against things like Wishcash, other ground types, and of course, to fighters, which is basically Machamp. This is why you have double flyers, to cover Machamp or other fighters, and to cover just overall as a generalist, Knockdown and Pelipper are a very strong combination. Obama Snow also isn't super bad against you, just because you take neutral damage from Weather Ball. You also take neutral damage against Energy Ball as well. So it's very, very interesting, like how good Excadrill is in this meta. You can break shields with it, or you could just say switch into Pelipper and close out with Noctowl. Alright, next up we have Magcargo, Ivysaur, and Pelipper, standing at number 2 at a 595, which is a pretty dang high rating. And it is very interesting because Ivysaur, well, do you remember how I told you about the whole, like, okay, like, grass is strong in the back? This is a reason why you see Ivysaur here. Pelipper is your safe switch. You have Magcargo. This one uses Stone Edge, though, and then you have Venusaur in the middle. So, again, not very surprising. Like, Magcargo, Pelipper, safe switch, and then, again, grass types in the back are really strong because they have a lot of coverage. This one uses Ivysaur. I think it's okay to use Venusaur. I think Power Whip is just a, like, yeah, it's very, very interesting. But this team is very, very interesting as well because you don't have a lot of coverage. You don't have a lot of bulk or safety either, and it's only consistent as far as damage goes. And it is very interesting because, as you see here, Trevenant, Lickitung, and Registeel can run. Registeel, just because Magcargo has Incinerate, it's not necessarily bad just because Registeel is bulky, and at the same time, Flash Cannon does neutral damage, Focus Blast does heavy damage. So it's a very interesting mon. Trevenant will suffer against Magcargo, so don't worry about that. But also, Lickitung is very thick. Of course, Magcargo, I think Magcargo's weak to Wishcash and Machamp are your biggest damage dealers. If you're lucky enough to not see that combination, you do a lot of work against a lot of the top meta. This team has a ridiculously high threat score. Now, some of these combinations aren't factually that good in a 2-shield. Now, the reason why is because PvPoke's results are taken from the 0s and the 1s instead of the 2s. So the leads aren't factually like, yeah, this isn't like solid. But at the same time, it's still, the reason why you factor 1 and 0s is just because 1 and 0 is just the general way everyone does it. And I don't know why people don't factor in the 2s or sack lead strats that much. But not to say this data is not accurate, because overall this team is still performing very powerful, despite, as you see, a lot of weaknesses to its combinations. That's just because of the charge move pressure that you're able to put on your opponent, and Magcargo with Incinerate is a beast. So again, just safe switch in the Pelipper. Ivysaur is great. Our grass closers are pretty great in this meta if you use them for the Great League Remix. And now you have super meta, literal super mega meta, super mega super meta, which you have the Trash Can, La Basura, you have the Psychic Duck, the Jetsons Duck in the middle, and then you have the flying bird from Nemo, the freaking, the seagull or whatever the heck, yeah, whatever Pelipper is, yeah. Anyways, this team is very, very powerful. I faced it a few times in Great League Remix. Pelipper is your safe switch. Cresselia, technically it's double safe switch, but Pelipper is your main safe switch. As you see here, this team topped the rankings at 605. So even though the usage is the sample size of a single individual, I've seen it running around a little bit. And the reason why Cresselia does great in the closer is just because of Grass Knot. Grass type attacks or typing Pokemon are very powerful. Cresselia is also super bulky. So whoever made the top team, you are a champion. I mean, but I've seen Registeel Pelipper combination before, and as you see with Cresselia in the back, it is the #1 most powerful team. Lots of bulk, lots of consistency. This team will do heavy damage, also very safe just because of Pelipper safe switch, and like I mentioned, it's essentially a double safe switch team. Cresselia and Pelipper are both viable safe switches. C for coverage, you're not going to find a lot of teams with Bs or As, but as you see here for the Great League Remix, this team is very, very powerful. Registeel is able to dump shields, Pelipper is a great safe switch, and so is Cresselia, and like I mentioned, grass type attacks, I don't know how they come from the floor like that and just absolutely smack you to death, but it's very powerful. Despite the fact that this team does have a high threat score, Registeel is great for the fact that it's able to blast shields. You could stack Registeel in the lead if it's not hard countered, and then Pelipper and Cresselia have a lot of pressure and power against a lot of the Great League Remix meta. So, very strong, very good, and I totally approve of this team. Like, Registeel leads isn't bad, it's just that's why I'm using Charizard. Charizard lead is pretty dang baller, but Registeel is still really good. And as you see, since Season 1, it's been a pain in your behind, my behind. It is trash, it is basura. Well, trash is in its evil demeanor, but in the fact that Registeel is really good for the Great League Remix. does super well against a lot of those fire types. So normally what will happen is that if you have like a Knocked Owl, a Tropius, etc., and Registeel goes up against it, it's laughing at you. Well, technically it can't laugh because it has just like dots and everything like that, but you know it's just gonna like beep, boop, bop, bop, blast, blast, and you're dead. That's all it really is. And that is the #1 team for Great League Remix. I think this team's solid, so like if you do have all 3 of these, yes, it has double legendary, so I don't like it. And Pelipper Safe Switch is such a unique mon, you know what I mean? Look at this, so unique, absolutely goated. But this team is powerful and will serve you well in the Great League Remix if you decide to run it for Season 10. And that's GG's. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As you see, Pelipper Safe Switch is pretty solid. Grass type combinations or moves are good in the back, and the leads is just a whole bunch of madness. But there's a lot of top teams here that can work. Even if you don't use the top 5, there's a lot of combinations at the bottom that can do very well for you. Hopefully you guys are having fun. Great League Remix is pretty chaotic, but you know, I'm using my triple budget team more in a video on that, and it is a very, very powerful team, despite the fact it's really, really cheap. But Magcargo, it's good to see Magcargo getting some love. You're gonna Magcargoed, or there's a lot of freaking puns you can make with Magcargo. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully it helps you out and lets you see a little bit of what it is, which is like Pelipper Safe Switch, death by Pelipper Safe Switch, like literally. As I go to the higher legals, like everyone is using Pelipper Safe Switch, and I'm just like, really, bro? Okay. Nothing wrong with it. It's just like, again? Okay, because like in Great League, Pelipper's a great safe switch, and now in Great League Remix, it's a freaking great safe switch. Probably gonna get banned for the next Great League Remix when this comes around. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Do me a huge favor, please like and subscribe. You can easily do that. You see the 2 Charmanders right there next to it? It's the sub box. You can easily subscribe by putting your mouse over the sub box, and poof, the sub tab will pop up. Really appreciate my current subscribers. I hope y'all are having fun in Season 10. It's still really early, so don't stress. Have some fun. Go out and destroy everyone. And, of course, do your best. Good luck on your Go Battle League sets, and I will see you guys on the next video.